let's go ahead and wirelessly scan this vehicle. Come down to the menu and turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And now let's go ahead and scan it. We got the Xtool D7W, and the W is for wireless. And this is unlike most other wireless scan tools on the market, and I'm going to show you guys why. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we got the Xtool D7W, and again, this is the wireless version, and this is not Bluetooth wireless, which tends to be very slow. This is actually going to be Wi-Fi direct. And the best part is that you do not need a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth signal to get this to work. So I've gone ahead and turned off both of those. I have updated the unit, and it does come with 3 years of updates. During this video, I'm going to go and test this out on 2 different vehicles, and we're going to test this pretty far away from the vehicle to see if it could really do what it says it can do. And we're going to test that vehicle all the way over there. That's about 50 feet. And I got about 3 acres of land here. So I'm going to go as far as I can to see when this unit will stop working. And at the end of the video, I will go ahead and give this a Randomfix tool grade so you guys can go ahead and decide for yourself. And before we jump into the vehicles, let me quickly show you guys what's included in the box. Before we start, this is going to be a pretty long video. If you guys want to just check out the quick review, I'll leave you guys a link to that in the video description box down below. And please utilize the chapters to save yourself some additional time. And if I did good on the chapters, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up. Thank you. And now let's take a look at what's included. So you get a nice hard shell case, and this is the main box that it came in, and everything's nicely protected. It does come with a quick start guide. Inside the box, we have the vehicle communication interface, or the VCI, and it does have 3 LEDs. And the one thing I wanted to mention about this unit is whenever it's plugged in, it's really hard to see the LEDs. So I wish these were actually located down here or on the side, as most of the times when it goes into the vehicle, it goes in this orientation with the wider side up top. And this VCI is different from most other wireless VCIs, as this is Wi-Fi direct. So this uses 2.4 gigahertz technology to communicate wirelessly with the device. It does not need to go through your home Wi-Fi in order to communicate with this. This is direct. We get a total of 3 power plugs, US, UK, and the EU, and a charging brick. And this is the only way to charge the unit. And the battery life is very important on this. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. We get a high-speed USB cable. And here's the unit. And it's got a nice rugged feel. Nice rubberized sides. It does have a collapsible kickstand. Up top we have the power button, and this is the charging port. And this is where the USB connection is made. And if you use an endoscope, this is where it will connect to. You have to buy that separately, and I'll leave you guys a link to it for a quick reference. This does have a camera built into it. And let's check out the quality of the camera really quick. And to access the menu, scroll up, and here's the bottom menu. I can take a screenshot, volume down, volume up, back, home, multifunction option, the diagnosis function, and a screen record option, which I'll use later on in the video. And this is the main interface, and everything is nicely organized. This is the diagnostic function. This does support European vehicles, American vehicles, and Asian vehicles. Special functions. And this has a total of 36 special functions. And I'll show you this later in the video. We have 15 here, additional 15, and 6 more, making it 36. There's a reports function, so you can view previous reports, updates, And updates are very easy once you are connected to the internet. And this is how easy it is to complete updates. And you're done. Whether you have one or 120, with one click, you can install all the updates. And this does have DOIP and CanFD support, which is utilized on a lot of the newer vehicles, such as GM's 2020 and newer, BMWs, Range Rovers, and vehicles like that. But just realize, just because you have a scan tool that is capable of doing that and your vehicle doesn't have DOIP or CanFD support, you will not really benefit from the increased speed. And again, you do not need Wi-Fi once the unit is activated and the updates are installed, as this VCI will communicate directly with this scan tool. And when I did get the unit, I had a firmware update for the unit and the VCI, and there was over 120 updates available. And it does come with a total of 3 years of updates. And after the 3 years is up, you can go ahead and renew. And if you decide not to purchase the updates, the unit will continue to work. There's a more section. I'm able to enter in workshop information if I'm using this for business. Endoscope, and the endoscope will connect right up top, and this will allow you to do some specialized inspections. And if you don't have an endoscope, the camera will just launch. It does have a remote support function, and once you're connected to the internet, you can use this team viewer and share your screen. And there's a setting function which will allow you to change language, the units, and also change the USB mode, sound and display. And lastly, we have an Xtool icon, which will launch the Xtool website. And this does have Chrome built in, which is really nice, as you can use Chrome to go ahead and search Google for possible related fixes. And if there's a quick adjustment you want to make, you can go ahead and swipe down, and you can access Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a screen orientation, a battery saver. And the battery saver is really nice, as you almost need it on the D7W. And let's talk about the battery life really quick, as this 5,000 milliamp battery will get you about a couple of days of standby time and about 3 hours of in your hand troubleshooting time. So you may have to carry the adapter with you if you're going to use this for work. And is this a tool that I would recommend to somebody? Absolutely, as this is one of the better tools I've actually tested. If you are looking for something that can go ahead and work the whole entire day without needing to be recharged, take a look at the D7S. It is not wireless. And the nice thing about it is the connection cable is what charges the unit. And this is running Android 10. We have a 7-inch display. And this has 64 gigs of storage. And with all the updates installed, I have 24 gigs still available, which is definitely a lot of room for future upgrades, as these updates are only going to get bigger and bigger, as Xtool is always doing a good job of updating all the software. Now that we know what's included in the box and we've taken a look at the layout and the user interface, let's go ahead and hook this up to the Prius, and then I'll also show you guys the graphing functions, because this does 8-in-1 graphing. If you are enjoying this content, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, as I really do put a lot of time and effort into making this video. And if there's something that I didn't cover in this video, please let me know what it is so I can go ahead and incorporate it into another video. And if you guys are new to the channel and you like this kind of content, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, as it lets YouTube know that I'm bringing you guys valuable content, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've gone ahead and launched the screen sharing, and let me show you guys what this scan tool can quickly do. And I'll try to cover some general information here and some of the things that I have done with scan tools, so you guys can get a better idea if something like this is the right tool for you, and give you guys a realistic idea on some of the capabilities, because these scan tools list a lot of special functions, but just know not all of it applies to your vehicle. And let's go ahead and start off with the auto scan. So when we hit auto scan, this will go through and decode the VIN. So normally this auto VIN function works on newer vehicles that are 2008 and newer most of the time. And it does have OBD2. Here's going to be the different makes for the Asian vehicles. Here's a Korean vehicle manufacturer right here. And we got the Americas, Europe. And the way you know you're connected is by this little green dot right up top. And again, you do not need Wi-Fi for this to work. You could be out in the country where there's no Wi-Fi or cell signal, and you can still go and use this auto scan. And this is in real time. I am not fast forwarding this. So there's a total of 17 modules, and it just scanned all of them. And it did find faults in these 4 modules here. And now I can go ahead and create a report. And this is a really nice comprehensive report. It has the miles and everything's listed here. I can save this, which is really nice. If I need to go and share this with the customer, I can complete a DTC or diagnostic trouble code report, and I can clear everything with just one click. And as you can see, everything is cleared up now.
Hey Randomfix, come here.
What is it, son?
Does this work on my mini mic?
No, son. Your mini bike does not have an OBD2 port. And let's go to system selection. And for this vehicle, I'm going to select the air conditioning, and it gives me a nice brief summary on what it does. Go to actuation tests or active tests. I'm going to select blower motor. Yes or no, depending on if you want the monitor data list. I'm going to select yes. And speed level of blower motor. Hit OK. And I'm going to go and hit add. And as you can see, this not only can read codes, it can go ahead and send commands like this to the vehicle. And for the video, this is really easy for me to show you, but there's a lot of different components like this you can go ahead and test out. So you could do this with different parts of the AC, including the rear defrog relay. So if your rear defrost wasn't working and you weren't sure why, you can go ahead and quickly troubleshoot if it's the button here or if it's the relay. So I'm going to go ahead and select on here and just watch. Since this is portable, I can go ahead and take this out to the component. And the nice thing is I can go ahead and hit on, and you can hear the click. By touching it while I'm turning the relay on and off, I can quickly figure out which relay it is, and then I can start troubleshooting and test the relay. And again, this applies to all the different systems that can be triggered by scan tools. This includes fans, pumps, water pumps, and the newer your vehicle is, the more you can benefit from the bi-directional support of one of these scan tools like this. And I actually benefited from this tool last night because I was adding a little jumper port here, so I can go ahead and run my Prius when the power is out. And guess what, guys? I blew the main fuse. This helped me figure out what it was because I was able to go and basically understand that everything pretty much inside the vehicle was dead. The hybrid system wasn't turning on, and there's a 100 amp hybrid fuse that I blew in here because I grounded this out by accident. And as I was working on it, my son asked me how much it would cost for a dealership to go ahead and find the issue and possibly fix it. And I told him it would be about $500 to go ahead and diagnose and replace that little component. It's only about a $13 part. As I'm making this video, I realized that this particular scan tool is around that $500 mark. But you pay for it one time, you get to use it many times over. And if you have friends and family that have vehicles, which most of us do, you can go ahead and lend this to them and be their favorite hero. If you have a question that I can help answer, or you guys just don't know where to begin off with when you're looking for a scan tool, please comment down below and I'll do my best to point you guys in the right direction. You never know when you're going to need one of these, but it's really nice to have because I saved myself a big headache, and I avoided a trip down to the dealership because I was able to troubleshoot it myself and I got the issue fixed. Let's try the engine and transmission. I've selected active test again, and right now I selected the EVAP, and the EVAP is turned on, and right here, can you hear that little clicking noise? I've activated that pump. And in case I was having an issue with this component, I can quickly go and rule out if it is this part or isn't this part. And I actually have a funny story about cooling fans. I knew a guy that was having a little issue with his vehicle, so he took it down to the shop and they put the new fan in, but they wired it up backwards, and the vehicle would not cool off after that because the fan was basically blowing the hot air in front and it was just creating a heat cycle. Observe the spin of the fan and confirm that it is actually blowing air this way, not forward. This fan is definitely spinning in the right direction. And one thing that I wish that Xtool would actually add onto here is going to be the battery readout here for the vehicle, as you really don't want to do a lot of troubleshooting when the battery is below 12 volts. I hope they add that in the near future. And now let's go ahead and check out the range of this on that Dodge over there, and we can check out how far and how well it works. Now we got the Dodge hooked up, and there are some LED lights on the very bottom there. You can see there's 3 of them. I wish they were actually on the top or towards the bottom, as they're very hard to see. And let's go and test that range. What I'm going to do is send a command to the vehicle, and I'm going to see if I can trigger this light from far away. Let's get really far away from this vehicle. And one thing I wanted to mention is, even though I'm showing you guys this for video purposes, make sure you're never really this far away from the vehicle when you're doing something sensitive like programming a key or doing a relearn. Okay, you can see that the light actually turned on, and I just turned it off. Let's go ahead and try the light now. And as I walk away from the vehicle to test the range on this, because we're getting pretty far back, if you're confused on which device you should get, whether it's a D7S or a D7W, don't worry. At the end of the video, I'll give you guys some helpful tips that may help you decide on which device is right for you. Let's go all the way back there. And your range might be a little bit reduced if you have a building in your way. Okay, so I think we're pretty far back, guys, and we have lost the signal. So I'm about 200 feet away, and the unit stopped communicating. So it has its limitations, and this definitely surpassed my expectations on the Wi-Fi range. So yeah, guys, this is pretty much it. However far that van is from here, which I'll go ahead and measure, that is the most range I can get out of it. I tried to walk down the hill, and as soon as I get about another 10 feet out, it stops communicating, and there's really nothing in the way. But let's go ahead and measure how far this is. So this is about 80 feet away. It had a stable signal at 80 feet. That is pretty amazing. And if I didn't mention it already, I really like what they did with the kickstand here. I thought it would go over the steering wheel, but that's not what it's for. It actually goes right on top of the airbag. And now let's talk about these special functions. We got key programming. I've actually programmed the key for this Dodge myself. So you could definitely do it with the scan tool like this. All you need to do is get the pin number or the pin code. And let's see if we can actually get it for this Dodge. And there it is, guys. It got it. And with that pin number, I can go ahead and just program a new key just by selecting that. And these keys cost me roughly about $11 to $12. So that's pretty nice. Let's go back. I'm going to go through this list really slow so you can go ahead and take a look at it yourself. BMS reset is for BMWs and Minis. On this Dodge, you can go ahead and relearn the throttle. And you got a hybrid battery special function. I was not able to use this on the Prius. Stop and start resets, and this applies to Nissan and Mitsubishi and BMW, Mercedes. You could set a speed limit on Ford and Lincoln. And here's the European vehicles and the Asian vehicles. So we got a total of 36. And for example, again, the tire upgrade is only available for GM. or Acura and Honda. I have friends that work in the auto service space, and currently they're charging $229 per hour, guys. And a lot of times when you go in to get your work done, they charge a minimum of 1 hour just to go ahead and possibly find out what it is. With the scan tool like this, you can go ahead and do your own troubleshooting and a lot of your own repairs. And again, not everything is covered, so the best advice I can give you is reach out to support at xtools.com, and I'll leave you guys this email address in the video description box down below, and send them your VIN number before you guys go and purchase to make sure you are getting the right tool for your vehicle. Ask for a list of supported features. Let's take a look at the live data so we can see the graphing on this, as this does offer the 8-in-1 graphing. For graphing, I have selected the coolant temperature, the number of warm-up cycles, and distance from DTCs cleared. So if you had a permanent diagnostic code, and these codes apply to vehicles that are 2010 and newer, you can go ahead and graph everything here. And for the permanent diagnostic codes, a lot of times the coolant temperature has to go under 120 and above 165. And we have a total of 3 warm-up cycles since the DTC was cleared. And distance traveled since the last DTC was cleared is going to be 6.8 miles. And I can also combine this on a graph. And if I need more, I can select up to 8. I can view it in this format, or I can go ahead and hit combine. And this is really nice. I'm actually able to record as I'm doing a screen record. I really like this so far. I can pause it as well as zoom in. And this is the live data on the OE side, which has a total of 220 different fields of data available. And on the OBD2 side, in one module, we have 21 fields that we're able to select. And in the second module, we could select a total of 40. It does allow me to look up pending, stored, and permanent codes as well. And I really like the way they have laid everything out. On a lot of scan tools, it's really hard to find the permanent codes. Now, there are other scan tools that have the same Wi-Fi direct capability, but just know that they're going to be in the $1,000 plus range, whereas you're getting this in the sub $600 range. Now is my favorite part of the video. This is where I'm going to go ahead and give this Xtool D7W a Randomfix tool grade so you can decide for yourself. And I do want to thank the vendor for sending me this, as I've tried out many Xtool products over the years. And I can honestly tell you guys, in the last 2 years, Xtool has really stepped it up, and they're doing a fantastic job on upgrading and updating all their old and new tools. There's a lot of things that I love about this unit, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. And there's a few things I am not so crazy about. One of them is going to be the battery life. As I mentioned earlier, I get about 3 hours of hands-on screen time with this. And I don't know if that's because of the Wi-Fi direct technology that's built into this. If you are going to be using this for an occupation, you need to go and possibly charge this several times during the day to go and keep the battery topped off. And before you guys ask, there's no way of actually charging it through the USB port over here. Again, you can only charge it through here. So the 5,000 milliamp battery, although it's enough on the D7S, on this one over here, it looks like it can use a little upgrade. And although this has a nice 7-inch display, as far as graphing, I think if you do a lot of graphing, you may want to look at a tool like the D8S, as that bigger screen will just allow you to get a better idea on what's going on with the graphs, as I found myself squinting a few times. And overall, I really like this tool, and the D7W is going to get the highest score I've ever given a scan tool. And even though there's other devices out there that have the same Wi-Fi direct technology, just know that there are for a lot more money, and this is currently being priced super aggressively. And I'm going to go and give this a 87 out of 100. And I'll display for you guys the criteria so you guys can go ahead and take a look at it for yourself. And the previous best score was going to be an 85 out of 100 for the D7S. D7W just beat it by 2 points, just because this is super fast and it's ultra convenient, especially when you're troubleshooting bi-directional functions. and you want to go and listen to the component without having to tear everything apart, this will allow you to do that. So as I promised you guys earlier, I would help you narrow down which one is a better tool for you, whether you should get the wired D7S or the wireless. It really comes down to your level of troubleshooting. So I personally like to go and fix everything on my own, and I like saving myself some money. So I like the fact that this D7W allows me to walk around the vehicle and send a command as I'm looking at the component, whether it's the headlight or a mechanical component. The wireless version just allows me the freedom just to do so much more, and for that I'm really in love with this unit. And I'll leave you guys some links at the end of this video right up here so you guys can go learn more about this. And I'll leave you guys another playlist up here so you guys can go and learn more about scan tools. If there was something that I didn't mention in this video, please let me know what it was so I can incorporate it into another video. And I really do appreciate you guys watching, and make it a great day. Thank you so much.